So the gospel is the means by which Christ has called us out of the world into a relationship with Him that is designated the church. In order to define the church, I would say that it is the spiritual body of Christ, composed of all the called. That means all of the saved. In the full import of the word, that's the church in the whole, in the aggregate. Every saved person on earth belongs to it. But God not only ordained that people become saved or become Christians, it is God's will that Christians bind themselves together for the purpose of worship and service to Him. That gives to us a local application of the word church. The church in its general sense means all of the saved. The church in the local sense means the number of the saved gathered together into a congregation according to geographical terms of limitation. When Christ said, "Upon this rock I will build my church," He meant the whole church, the saved in the aggregate. But when Paul said to the church of God at Corinth, he meant the saved within that geographical term of limitation. And when we specify the church of Christ at a certain place or location, it means the called or the saved who meet and gather and congregate at that place or that locality. That is the general, the whole, and the local sense in which the word is used. A denomination, properly defined, means a religious organization, larger than the local church, but smaller than the whole church. It takes many local congregations to constitute a denomination. So a denomination is larger than the local church. But it is smaller than the whole church, because no denomination claims to have all the saved in it. They will tell us they're Christians in all denominations. So no denomination has all of the saved. It is therefore smaller than the whole church. But it is larger than the local church, because it takes many local churches to compose it. So a denomination is not the church in the whole sense, because it's too small. And it is not the church in the local sense, because it's too large. Our only conclusion, therefore, is that a denomination cannot be the church in any sense, in no scriptural sense at all, because the word church is never used in the New Testament in any denominational connotation. That is outside the use of the word church in the New Testament. So that gives us a definition of the church. In the whole sense, it's the entire body of the called of Christ by the gospel. In the local sense, the saved or the called in a locality meeting together to worship and serve the Lord.